Alabama played well. They beat us at our own game, and thought they made the adjustments from the last one. Georgia kind of punked them, and they did a great job of responding. And I told our guys going into the game that was going to be a real point of emphasis on their part, and credit to them for coming out here and executing it. We got pushed around, and they punked us. So that's the short of it. They missed 33 shots and got 19 of their misses back. And it's a great offensive team, and they're going to make shots and they're going to make tough plays, but you got to do everything you can to limit their second chance opportunities. If they shoot 52% from the field and 25% from three and 65 from the line, if you look back at games this year, like, they probably don't win many of those games. But when you get 19 offensive rebounds, you're going to be able to stay in those. So they did a great job there, and we had a bunch of really bad turnovers early, which got us into a hole, and we weren't able to dig out of it. So, take any questions?
Specifically on the offensive rebounds, I guess from what you could see, how much of those do you feel like were effort versus just things that maybe they did schematically?
I haven't watched the film yet because the game just ended, but I'm sure it was a combination of both. It felt like every time that they got an offensive rebound, the guy that was just staring at the ball when the shot went up, his man was the one that got it. So that's typically how it works, and they do a really good job of sending guys through the free throw line, and anytime we did hit, they would still push, and they got those rebounds. So credit to them. They did a really good job in that part of the game. So we'll watch the film, and I'm sure a lot of it was us just not going and finding a body and just turning and looking at the ball, and we got to clean that up.
Steve, what do you attribute to the turnovers early on? This is an area where you guys again have done a really good job at this year, but that was kind of uncharacteristic those first few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it looked a lot like the Ole Miss game, didn't it? Just like silly turnovers, casual turnovers. Just we dribbled off our foot one time. We had two really bad outlet passes. Just too casual with the ball. Anytime that they would send multiple guys, we didn't get off it in time, and they did a really good job of stripping and ripping. So all things that we did a good job of fixing in the LSU game, we reverted back to in this game, and it ultimately led us to have a really slow start.
Coach, I know you don't take any moral victories in this rivalry, but you guys got back in the game. I thought Overton was tremendous in the second half. Talk about how he played and what you'll need from him going forward.
Yeah, I mean, KO was, good offensively once again. So, we're down 28 with 14:55 left, and, they battled. But, we can't wait to battle like that when we're down 28. You got to do that from the very tip, and we didn't do that tonight. So, need KO, to continue to shoot the ball like that. He's playing with a lot of confidence offensively, but just need him to continue to do those things and, be one of our better defenders.
See, what did you think about the effort and the intensity just in the first half? Obviously, you guys had it in the second half. Did you just feel like it was lacking, early on?
I don't think it was lacking. I just think, we were just a little too casual, and those turnovers, led to, some easy opportunities. No, I think the effort was there. It was just the execution, and that's something that we struggle with a little bit this year, and we got to button that up because it's win or go home at this point.
Hey, Stephen, back here, what did you think of Keyshawn Hall defensively tonight?
I would need to watch the film. Yeah, I mean, he had 4 defensive rebounds. He had a couple mistakes early where he was loaded into the ball and lost his man on a back cut, but it wasn't just him. It was our entire roster. I told our guys, like, it wasn't one person that stuck out defensively that was struggling or on the rebounds. It was a collective effort. The only guy that really was really solid the entire time he was in there was Blake. Blake's +9 in 5 minutes, and we got to keep him in the game there. We can't pull him out in that situation because it had gone from like 28 to 15 when Blake was in the game. We subbed him out, and they pushed it back up to 21. So Blake was a real spark, and we're going to play him more in the SEC tournament because he helps us defensively and he gets us organized.
Steven, what's your message to the team in terms of the urgency that you'll need to have in Nashville?
Yeah, I mean, it's win or go home. you know, I don't know what more urgency you need at this point. You know, we've put ourselves in a you know, in obviously a difficult situation, but also, you know, a great situation. We play in the best league in college basketball. It's the deepest league in college basketball. We have, you know, 5 of some of the best wins in the country. We have the best win in college basketball at Florida. You know, if you look at our quality wins, you know, and you look at other teams in the bubble, I don't think those teams get those wins. I just don't. So we've put ourselves in a position to be considered, and you know, I think our resume stands up against anybody's. You know, I'm not sure what the number would be tonight after the game. I don't know if anyone has KenPom pulled up, but I would imagine that we finished 1 or 2 in the country in strength of schedule overall, which is what the committee asked us to do. And you know, we played against some of the best teams in college basketball. You know, we went 2-2 against the conference champions of the SEC, the Big East, the Big Ten, and the Big 12, and we didn't play any of those games at home. So we have enough quality wins to be deserving to be in this tournament, but we understand that we got to go to Nashville and we got to make a run just so we don't have to be sweating it out on Sunday. So the urgency is, you know, this could be your last game if we don't find a way to win these, you know, these ones moving forward.